Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido and today we're coming here from Medali City where it is our reigning champions, the Aethers, going up against the top of the leaderboard, the Montenevera Silphs, who are the only side so far this season who have not lost the game, but the Aethers are looking to show that they are the dominant team as our reigning champions and they want to be the first team to hand the Montenevera Silphs that defeat here today. So with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win. Will it be the flying types? Will it be the ghost types? Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
And it is going to be Swanna joining Toucannon for the Aethers as Swanna sets up that electric terrain, and that is a very questionable choice to start out this matchup as they are going up against Mimikyu and Bayonet to start off this contest. Mimikyu with the U-turn though, immediately going for Swanna with that not very effective move, but it is going to go back to the bench, and out in its place it is going to be Houndstone entering this contest as Bayonet going with the throat chop. Some impressive damage there onto Swanna, but it is the play nice from Toucannon that is going to lower that physical attack on Bayonet, and Swanna with the follow-up Synthesis immediately restoring a great deal of the health that it has already lost in the early stages of this matchup. But Houndstone going for its first move of the contest goes with the disarming voice, connecting with both flying types, but it doesn't do much damage as Bayonet follows it up with the U-turn of its own, also going for Swanna. So it is going to go back to the bench, and in its place it is going to be Mimikyu returning to this match as Toucannon is going to go for the mighty cleave that is going to break the disguise of the ghost fairy type, getting in a little bit of chip damage after that disguise has been busted as well. But Swanna with the follow-up going for the mortal spin, connecting with both ghost types, not very effective onto Houndstone, but it does leave that poisoning onto Mimikyu, and it leaves the poisoning onto Houndstone as well, so they have to contend with that status condition as Mimikyu is going to respond with the flash cannon onto Toucannon of all Pokemon. But Houndstone with the follow-up Swallow, it has not gone for a stockpile, so that is going to fail, and this opens the door for Toucannon to try and capitalize as it goes with the heal pulse, and that is not the capitalization we meant, as it is going to restore the health of Mimikyu back to full strength, but that poisoning immediately eating back away at the health of Mimikyu as well as chipping away at the health of Houndstone here. And Swanna can follow up and try and capitalize, going with the Rock Wrecker onto Houndstone, getting some good damage there, but it is going to cause Houndstone to start chowing down on its citrus berry, so it will be restoring a great deal of the health that it just lost as Mimikyu responding for its side with the magnetic flux, but that is going to fail. So Houndstone, needing to do its part, is going to go for the air cutter, once again connecting with both flying types as Toucannon does respond with the power gem onto Houndstone here, getting that critical play as well as we see that poisoning continue to take effect on these two members of the Montenevera Silphs. And both these sides wanting the bragging rights of this contest, as Swanna does have to recharge. Mimikyu could capitalize here, going for the tackle, getting some good damage there onto Swanna. Houndstone with the follow-up fake out, but this is unfortunately going to fail, and it opens the door for Toucannon to fly in and go with the Bullet Seed, this multi-hit move. The first connection putting Houndstone into knockout range. It gets the second connection, it needs the third connection to take Houndstone out of this matchup, and the Medali Aethers get the first one on the board to take the lead here over the Montenevera Silphs with those three connections. Houndstone being eliminated, we know that Bayonet is going to return to the field shortly, but there Mimikyu still feeling the effects of that poisoning as the electricity does disappear from the field, and here it is, Bayonet coming back out for the match, but Swanna is going to meet it with the corrosive gas, burning away the leopard berries of all the Pokemon besides itself on the field at the moment. And if you're enjoying what you're seeing, please leave a like, share, subscribe as this action continues. We get the snipe shot from Mimikyu, putting Swanna into knockout range with that not very effective move. Bayonet could capitalize, but instead it goes with the charm, putting the moves onto Swanna, lowering that physical attack a great deal, and Toucannon responding for its side, tries for the bind, but it phases straight through Bayonet. But what does not phase through Mimikyu is that poisoning just eating away at it there, and Swanna is going to go for the power whip onto Mimikyu, not doing a great deal of damage though, allowing Mimikyu to respond with the dual wing beat, but it only needs the single wing beat to take Swanna out of this matchup, leveling the playing field here between the Silphs and the Aethers. And Bayonet, with an opportunity to follow up, goes for the stomp, getting some great damage there onto Toucannon as Toucannon responds with the stored power, not getting much damage unfortunately onto Mimikyu, as that poison is going to put Mimikyu into knockout range. And coming out for the Aethers now, it is going to be Kilowattrel, who should be able to take speed control, and that it does, going for the poison jab to get the easy elimination of Mimikyu, putting the Medali Aethers back in front. Bayonet, however, does respond with the roleplay. It is going to get rid of its Insomnia ability, instead taking that Sheer Force ability that Toucannon has, as Toucannon does respond with the Flame Wheel onto Bayonet, getting some good damage. It does not get the speed boost in the process, as out comes Trevenant for the Montenevera Silphs with that Frisk ability, revealing the Citrus Berry that Kilowattrel has, who goes for the upper hand. And even though they are leading, that move is still going to fail, as Bayonet goes for the Scale Shot, and another multi-hit move coming into play, going for Toucannon. It gets two, it needs the third one, and it will connect to take Toucannon out of this matchup, once again leveling the playing field between the Aethers and the Silphs at 4 Pokemon apiece. After those 3 connections, it is going to lower the defense of Bayonet, but gives it a speed boost. We will see if it can outspeed Kilowattrel, as Trevenant follows it up with the Soak, changing the electric flying type into a water type, and Trevenant, being a part grass type, can capitalize on this, as out comes Hawlucha for the Medali Aethers. It does not want to work alongside Flamigo, so hopefully it's not in this contest, as Kilowattrel is going to set up for the Electro Shot, and it's just lost that electric typing, but it is going to be absorbing the electricity as it gets that special attack boost. And Hawlucha going with the Stuffed Cheeks, it is going to chow down on its berry to boost that physical defense a great deal, but it has the Staff Berry, so it's also going to boost that attack in the process. As we get the Swagger from Bayonet, it is going to boost the attack a great deal of Kilowattrel, but it leaves it in a confused state, so they need Kilowattrel to be doing damage to itself, as it is setting up for the Electro Shot. The Air Slash, super effective onto Hawlucha from Trevenant. Kilowattrel needs to shake off this confusion to finish off the Electro Shot. And it is successful, going for Bayonet, and it gets the elimination once again, putting the Medali Aethers back in front. That crucial shake off of the confusion. Hawlucha following up with a super effective Ice Fang, that boosted attack, putting Trevenant into knockout range, but Trevenant chowing down on its own berry that is going to restore its health, because it was holding on to that Enigma berry and it just took that super effective damage. It does respond with the Aurora Veil, but it is not snowing in Medali, so that is going to fail. As now coming out for the Silphs, it is going to be Drifblim. And Kilowattrel, still in a confused state, needs to shake this off, and once again it is successful, setting up the Leech Seed onto Drifblim. This is going to sap the health of the Ghost Flying type, but Hawlucha as well, following it up, goes for the Horn attack, but it phases straight through Drifblim, and the Silphs could capitalize, as Drifblim does respond with the Frenzy Plant. This would be super effective on Kilowattrel, but this move is avoided, as Trevenant going with the Mystical Fire on the Water type Kilowattrel. Not very effective, but it is going to lower that special attack, but unfortunately Kilowattrel has that competitive ability, so it gets a great special attack boost in return, as well as having that health restored thanks to the Leech Seed that is sapping the health of Drifblim here. And Kilowattrel does get itself back to full strength as it snaps out of its confusion. It is going to go for the triple kick, but even on that first kick, it phases straight through Trevenant. Hawlucha, however, looking to do its part, going with the Leafage. This is resisted by Drifblim, but it gets that critical play for a little additional damage, as Drifblim does respond with the Heat Wave, but that is going to be avoided by the Water type Kilowattrel. However, Hawlucha still taking a great deal of damage. Trevenant following up with the Cross Poison, but Hawlucha hangs on by a thread and avoids the poisoning, as that Leech Seed continuing to sap the health of Drifblim. Kilowattrel is going to go for the Shadow Sneak onto its fellow Flying type, putting Drifblim into knockout range with that super effective move, but Drifblim chowing down on its Lancer Berry. It is getting pumped, and it responds with the Growl. And this does lower the physical attack of both members of the Aethers, but once again, that competitive ability coming into play, another special attack boost for Kilowattrel, as Hawlucha is going to go for the Dynamic Punch, but it phases straight through Trevenant this time, opening the door for the Ghost Grass type to go for that Smart Strike. It is not going to miss, but unfortunately it's not very effective anymore on the Water type Kilowattrel, who continues to have that health restored thanks to that Leech Seed that continues to sap the health of Drifblim, keeping Kilowattrel nice and strong. And remember, it has that Citrus Berry, but it cannot avoid the Earth Power that is a critical play from Drifblim. And there it is, Kilowattrel chowing down now on that Citrus Berry that was revealed thanks to the Frisk of Trevenant. It is going to respond with the Flare blitz to take Drifblim out of this match, not waiting for the Leech Seed to finish the job, as it is now a 4-2 advantage to the Medali Aethers. Hawlucha looking to follow it up, goes for the Foul Stinger. This will be super effective, putting Trevenant back into knockout range, but it responds with the Matcha. Gotcha. This is avoided by Hawlucha, but it will be super effective onto Kilowattrel, and it takes it out of this contest, but it also restores the health of Trevenant as well, and it desperately needed that health back. Unfortunately, it couldn't take Hawlucha out to make it a 2v2, but it is Tropius making its debut for the Medali Aethers this season. It is going to be Poltergeist coming out for the Montenevera Silphs. Hawlucha meeting it with the Malignant Chain, trying to get that poison onto it with that not very effective move, but Poltergeist does avoid it, going with the Pain Split, putting some of the damage that it just took onto Tropius there. And Trevenant follows it up with the Axe Kick onto Tropius, not very effective, but Tropius responds with the Dragon Pulse onto Trevenant, putting it back into knockout range. Hawlucha could capitalize, going with the Nightshade, this consistent damage, instead going for Poltergeist, getting some good damage there with that consistent move, but it responds with the Charge Beam to take Hawlucha out with that super effective move, but it also gets the special attack boost to an already 134 base special attack, and it's a 2v2 contest. The Shadow Punch from Trevenant onto Tropius, getting some good damage, but Tropius does respond with the Jaw Lock to take Trevenant out of this matchup with the super effective move, putting the Medali Aethers back in front, and the Aethers' last Pokemon is going to be their Terrastal Draftee Espathra with that hidden ability Speed boost, but it's already the quickest on the field, keeping that speed control for the Medali Aethers, as well as the numbers advantage. Poltergeist having to deal with Tropius and Espathra here, and Espathra is going to go for the Razor Shell, getting in a bit of chip damage, but that weak armor ability does also lower the defense of Poltergeist. That gives it a great speed boost, however, as Poltergeist is going to respond with the Water Spout. This will be resisted by Tropius, but it does still put it into knockout range, gets in some great damage there onto Espathra as Tropius chows down on its Lancer Bear. It is getting pumped, it wants to be the first team to take down the Silphs this season. It goes for the Blizzard, but Poltergeist is able to avoid that move, and there is the speed boost coming into play for Espathra. As we get our first time warning, we get the Bulldoze from Espathra. Intelligently, its teammate will avoid that move. It is immune. This does put Poltergeist into knockout range once again, though this activating that weak armor after lowering its speed, but there's that great speed boost as well, and Poltergeist is going to chow down on its Starfairy, boosting its speed. It wants speed control over Espathra. It goes with the Crunch. It takes Tropius out of this match. We are down to a 1v1 contest. And here it is as that speed boost once again comes into play for Espathra, but Poltergeist does have speed control now. It goes for the Leaf Storm. It's going to cut into its special attack, putting Espathra into knockout range with that not very effective move. It's able to hold on, and Espathra does respond with the Fickle Beam, and it's going all out for this attack to take down the Montenevera Silphs, our reigning champions. That time warning does not matter, because our reigning champions have been the first side to take down the Montenevera Silphs this season, and with that, every team has lost one game already this season, and we're only in our 4th round as the Aethers move up into 5th. Next round they're going up against the Pewter Skulls, whereas the Silphs, they're still on top, but next round they're going up against the Eternadevons, and until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought the best was on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.